you guys do if I didn't come the first 10 minutes?
I'll wait for you.
We worried.
We were just, I just comment how you're usually here a couple minutes beforehand,
Yeah, go
so
look for you.
It'd be very uncommon.
we'll go look for
It'd be
you.
very uncommon.
I was hoping you'd say you'd leave because I thought that's what they could do Sunday. You just show up late and hope they cancel the freaking game.
After Amber Alert.
Yeah, you guys, no, what's the opposite of amber?
Oh, yeah.
Silver.
Yeah.
Is that guy's over 65? It's gonna miss it.
Gray male.
Yeah, gray. Wasn't there a Western one time, or maybe it was a part of Western, an outlaw group, a gang that couldn't shoot straight?
Yes.
That's the way I feel about my team. Tony may feel the same way. I don't know, you'd have to talk to Tony, but it was it a Western or just a,
Was it Jimmy Breslin Block?
I don't know, I thought it was a Western or something, but, other than that, what you guys got going on?
Any update on Armando?
Yes, 99.99999 that he will not play. He is walking, he's not on crutches, but it ballooned up, it was big, and so I just don't see anything anyway in the world he can play.
I've officially, it's a sprained ankle, x-rays were negative, so it's
Yeah.
officially sprained left ankle.
Any timetable or anything?
No, and they don't do that anymore. Anybody tells you they, I mean, that they're guessing, so I tell my guys, don't guess, tell them
The other night, you said twice that you had no answers. Was that a frustration thing just about what occurred that night, or was that something, when you look at your team?
a little bit of both. I was frustrated, and you know, it's we didn't play well, we didn't compete well, we didn't execute well. You know, I've gotten a beat before. That's, you know, I'm still alive, but that was in the top 3 most frustrating of all time, because we didn't do anything that I liked. And I'm serious. I told them at halftime, I felt like I was lucky. We're down 2. We'd have been out rebounded by 9, and we shot 27% or whatever it was in the first half. I didn't think we'd get worse, and we got worse. And so, no, it was a little bit of both. At that time, you know, when a coach says something immediately after the game, you should always take it with a grain of salt, because he really hasn't had that opportunity to see it over again. And, but it was frustrating, still is frustrating.
Roy,
The good news is we didn't practice yesterday. They had the day off to help get them ready for exams. Exams were this morning. And my teams have always, not always, every now and then during the course of our career, one of those games around exams, we sort of screw it up a little bit, but I don't remember ever doing it as badly as this one. So I went recruiting yesterday, and it was really good for me and a million times better for them.
Is this just not a team that's as good shooting as other teams, or is there more to it that you've seen, that you've noticed?
Yes, both. We're not pushing the pace enough to get easy ones. We don't have people runners. We don't have the initial post option that Tyler Hansbrough, Sean May, some of those guys, Kennedy Meeks and Isaiah Hicks would give us even down there. So we don't have that, and then the guys aren't running enough. And when, you know, the bottom line is the ball's not going in the basket enough. And we used to get more easy ones than we got, and I'm not giving up, because I think that this can be a good running team. We just got to run better.
Is there one primary focus right now, or is it just everything?
For them right now, it's being alive at the end of practice should be their biggest focus. And also for me, the same thing. There could be a hit man that they bring in, or it could die of a heart attack, you know, that kind of thing. But that should be everybody's focus. I'm not looking long term. I'm really not. We got to get better today. We did not get better against Ohio State. And don't take away from Chris's club. I mean, they did some nice things, did some things that we thought they would do, and were successful. I mean, Washington, for example, in the scouting report, very hot from 3 now. You got to get out to cover. You only made 4 in the first half. I mean, so those kind of things are perplexing to me. But no, we're not going to. I'm not looking at what may happen in January or something. We got to get better today and try to take those things that we focus on. And we got. It's hard. It's hard right now. I mean, ideally, we're going to practice for 90 minutes and have a 90-minute film session. And that's hard for me to even try to do, because they got exams. We got guys that, we changed our practice tomorrow. We were going to practice at noon, we moved it back, we have like 7 guys that have exams tomorrow. But on Sunday afternoon, nobody's gonna give a darn about that. But, so that's ideally would be what I would like to do, but I don't even know if I can do that.
The lack of running, is it a conditioning issue with the team or just not
No,
doing
I
it?
mean, we run, you know, physically they can do some things. It's just attention to the detail and doing it consistently, doing it intelligently. It's right now, okay, it's a failure of everybody on our team, and including the head coach, because I've never had a team that I couldn't get to run. And I'm getting darn sick and tired of talking about it with this group.
Justin was asked the other day what the problem with the scoring was, and he gave a fairly long list of reasons, but he really focused in on, in the half court, once the secondary break is in there and you guys reset. He said you're not getting a lot of open shots because guys are not setting good screens, they're not coming off the screens properly. He said it's pretty much, he said just fix that, there'll be more open shots and the percentages will go up. Is it that simple?
No, that's the reason he's not coaching. That is a huge problem in the half court, in our freelance. We were on set play the other night, guy went the wrong freaking way. I mean, this is 40, practice 42, 43, or 44 today. I mean, come on. And so one of the biggest issues in our freelance is not setting and using screens properly. But your first part of his statement that I didn't hear was probably right, because we're not running, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this.
Yeah, he kind of said what you had said the other day.
Yeah, it's just so many things.
Yeah, Roy, can you explain to us, break it down?
Y'all can't understand, I'm serious.
No, I mean, it's, when, I want to know, you know, when the team isn't running as fast as you would like them to, how does that, you know, take away from what you want to do as a coach?
Well, go back and look, our goal every game is to have 1 or 2 that we score with 24, 25 seconds left on the shot clock. We haven't done that one time this year. And our teams in the past have been able to do it. And so either I've gotten awfully dumb really quick, or dumber maybe, but done that really, really quick, or they're not running. I mean, it's pretty damn simple, that's all it is.
But I'm wondering, like, based on like how your offense runs when they're not running as fast, when they don't run, how does that break things down for what you like to do? I may be
No, I
saying the wrong
understand,
thing.
but you guys don't freaking understand enough.
I thought you kind of answered in the first question where you said not getting his easy basket, not getting that
Okay.
post
Well,
up.
and
that
think
kind
of
stuff.
this, all right, if we're running, we're getting easy baskets,
Okay.
okay? And if we're running, what else are we doing? They're not getting offensive rebounds because they're sending guys back. Word about our break. Heck, if I was playing against us right now, I'd get on my scooter and do figure eights running back, because hell, ain't no sense running back against us. But I mean, it's, you think about it, and I'm not trying to put you down, but you don't understand.
Yeah.
Nobody in here understands, nobody. You wouldn't understand if you write articles for the next 500 years. You coach 500 games, you'll understand. When we run the break, we score. All right, now then they're so afraid of the break that they don't go to the offensive rebound themselves. They send 2 or 3 guys back to stop our break. All right, so they're back there wondering what was coming at them. Okay, so they're not getting picked up properly, because the first 2 or 3 guys getting back, what does our first big guy do that I said a minute ago? He's got to run to the front of the rim. So who's back for them? The point guard.
Right.
So the point guard's got to pick up the big guy. All right, so if our 4th guy comes down, is our point guard, who's picking up the point guard? It's somebody else. So there's no one answer. I mean, there's 1,000 things that go into it. And we've done it every day for my entire life, entire coaching career. Every playground I ever played on, I outrun the other sucker every freaking play. And so if there was one answer, what was that famous line I got? If I knew how to fix the blankety blank thing, I would have already done it. There's no one answer. You guys sure as hell can't come up with it if I haven't. And that's not any cut to you. I don't know where to put a comma or a colon either, but I do know what the crap they are.
Coach, do you have a player that, in years past, you always have that one player that kind of sets the tone and the example for you if you're not there? Do you have that this year in a leader that's kind of like your Joel or your, you know,
Yeah.
Marcus?
Not really, it's been harder because it's harder for a big guy, and Garrison's the only experienced big guy we have, so, but it's harder. Tyler Hansborough's the only really, I think I'll say this correctly, is the only big guy who's really ever set the tone every day. And that was because he was so wacko that they were also afraid of him. So there's a pretty good deal there. Usually it's a perimeter player. B-Rob missing the first 4 games made it difficult for him to do that. Everybody else is new, coming, the freshmen coming out of high school, the grad transfers coming from a different coaching staff, a different coaching style, trying to do it. So that's been probably the most difficult part, is it's been new for everybody. And, I'll give you an example. I mean, we lead the nation in rebounding. Well, it's amazing we're doing it this year. We should always do it because we shoot faster than everybody, so there's more rebounds to get. We play at a faster pace. Usually we're way up there in assists because we play at such a faster pace. But those teams, this is the least, or at least one of the 3 least experienced teams I've ever coached, and they have 2 guys who've played in high school and played in college at another system, and so you're trying to get them involved. You can call them grad transfers or seniors or whatever, but it's been more difficult for them.
B-Rob talked a lot about accountability the other night. Where do you see that lacking right now?
In every guy wearing a uniform. Managers, they've been pretty daggone good. Trainers been pretty good. The SID's been pretty good. Assistant AD sort of been crappy, but other than that, we've been pretty good. I mean, I make fun of it because what can I say? I can't, well, if B-Rob would do this, I mean, it's everybody. I mean, you guys would, you would laugh and cry in that 90-minute film session because I can be brutal. And, but you would cry because you get tired of a 69-year-old guy getting on you, but you would laugh because you say, how can I be that stupid? Because that's what a lot of it is, just 32 years as a head coach. Every year, it's easy to be successful. I tell them every year, it's easy to be successful. Just do what I tell you to do. Hasn't worked so far, but we haven't been successful so far either. This is another one, the press conference that's deteriorating. Why do y'all even come? These things are terrible.
Story time. Without Armando, where do you look to move? Obviously,
We don't have any options. It's Justin, but we don't have any options.
And then the spot minutes for Brandon Walker.
Got to play better than he did the other night. It's Justin, and then after that, we don't have any options. We went small for 3 or 4 minutes with Leakey at the 4.
Is that Justin at 3 and Mickey at 4?
No, I went with Garrison as the 5 and Leakey as the 4. Justin wasn't in there.
Roy, Tony lost some big pieces of his team last year as well. How are they different, if at all?
Who'd you say?
Tony Bennett.
Virginia.
Oh, I thought you meant with our team.
Oh,
Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ.
Tony Bradley.
Damn, I had a guy named Tony last year. Tony could play for me right now. He can make a freaking shot. That'd be bad. If Tony dresses out for them and I dress out for us, we're gonna get our butts kicked. What the hell was your question?
How are they different? How are
They lost a lot of pieces too
Same
last
thing
year.
as us. I mean, he goes out there and he doesn't see Kyle Guy and Ty Jerome and DeAndre, he doesn't see Salt. And I have not watched him play with the exception of the Purdue game. And I don't know whatever disease that he felt, but it was the same disease that I felt during the game. And he's, please don't take it that I'm talking for Tony's team because Tony's got to talk for them. But the numbers that you look at is they're not pleasant for either one of us.
With the new
But if
guys,
he plays, he'd add a lot more to them.
with the new guys on the team, namely Justin and Christian, is there something that needs to change to get them better integrated in the offense? Is it something you need to do or they need to do?
There's not any difference in the other guys. It's all the same. You gotta do what I ask you to do, and if you get a shot, you gotta make shots. It's pretty simple. I'm being very sincere. I'm not trying to look bent down my nose at you or anything, but I don't have to be a nuclear scientist to figure out, look at those numbers and you think, God almighty. I mean, really. I've never had a team score as little, never had a team shoot as badly, and again, maybe it is me. Maybe I've gotten a lot dumber, a lot quicker than I thought I was going to.
Coach, do you think that this kind of proves your point this year that experience trumps talent?
If it's close, and what I mean by that, if the experience is at such a high level, and the talent is at the highest level, talent's still going to win. But if it's close, you know, I'll take that experience. Everybody wants experienced talent, that's what you want. But if you're experiencing something and their talent is not dramatically different, I'll take the experience, yeah. Everybody wants to coach talent, but if it's close, you know, the experience can make up for that. I truly believe that.
What's the best way to attack Virginia's defense? They've obviously been very successful over the past few years.
You know, we haven't had a lot of success. I think last time we beat them was in, we beat them in the ACC tournament a couple of years, maybe 2 out of 3 years, maybe 2 years.
Here in 17.
Yeah, that was 100 years ago. And then that year we beat them in the tournament.
16 ACC.
Yeah, 16 in the tournament. So I don't have a very good answer, you know, but we had some different players and they did too. You got to make shots. It's going to be a low possession game. You got to make some shots. You got to try to make sure they don't get second shot opportunities, and you got to try to get second shot opportunities. So, but it's the same way for everybody, except that it is going to be a lower possession game. So that makes each possession a little more valuable. If you play 100 possessions and have 15 turnovers, so what? But if you play 45 possessions and have 15 turnovers or 15 bad shots, you know, so the larger possession tends to allow you to overcome some mistakes much more so than you're playing against Tony's team. But you've got to guard them too. You know, you can't just keep giving up buckets. You've got to guard them. So it's both ends of the court. You got to guard them and try to limit them to one shot, and then you got to try to get the best shots you can, and hopefully get sometimes where you get a second shot.
Take 2 more if there are 2.
In a low possession game with Armando out, are you concerned about giving up offensive reboundings or just a lack of rebounding against this team?
I'm concerned about the lack of rebounding because if you take away his, and Steve may know this, take the Wilmington game out and take the Ohio State game out, he may be averaging.
He's averaging 13 and 11 plus.
Yeah.
The 6 games that he hasn't been hurt in.
Yeah, you know, so you lose that, so yeah, that's making rebounding plus who you put in. I mean, it's, that part's difficult too.
Anybody else?
You said none of us would understand the fundamentals of the offense. Do the players come in knowing that from high school, or do you have to teach that as well?
It's pretty daggum simple if you know what you're doing. It really is, but how many of you guys played 500 games in your life? Okay, so it's pretty, I mean, seriously, I'm not putting you down or anything. Bobby Frazier played for me, one of the most intelligent guys I've ever had. One summer he played 56 games. So if you have 56 games, you know what else you have? At least 56 practices. So these kids nowadays, I mean, they play, it's, in some ways, some people say, and I probably agree with them, play too many games. But I mean, it's, just think about it. How many games they play and the level of players that we get, they play an unbelievable number of games. And what have they been exposed to is usually pretty doggone good coaching. I'm not the first coach that's ever knew which end of the ball to handle. So they've had that and had that. I had Joel James, whom I loved. I've corrected him, one of the players says, I said, shut up. And practice his stop, because I don't do those kind of things usually. I said, Joel, when did you start playing basketball? Sophomore in high school. And I had 3 guys on my team that started playing when they were 6 years old. So they're going to be exposed to more things than Joel was. And but nowadays, I mean, kids play so much. I mean, 56 games in a summer. And that's after, I think they won the state championship, or no, they didn't win it. They made it to the very end, but they played like 30 with their high school, which means they had 75 practices. They played 56 in the summer, which means they had 56 practices at least. And that's what you guys, and I'm not putting you down. There's a lot of things you guys can do better than me. And but the number of basketball games those kids have played and the way they've been exposed to it and the games they watch, I mean, they watch hundreds of games and hundreds of that, what's that, guys that were on in the buses,
And one mixtape?
Yeah, and that, and there's another one too, some of that crap where they, some kind of tour, I mean, they watch all of it. What?
The Harlem Globetrotters?
No, Globetrotters, there's strictly sincere basketball. I forget what it was, it was some kind of thing, you watch the guys play and the crowd's on the side and they're talking to people on the crowd.
Oh yeah, that's the And One mixtape tour.
It wasn't that one, there's another one before that, but I mean, they've seen thousands, I mean, that's all they do, is play those games, and so they make up their own stuff, so, you know, the guys know what the crap we're talking about, you just gotta, I know exactly when, well, except for Bryson DeChambeau, he's a little weird dude. He's really, really good, but I mean, he's got a different system how to swing the golf club than everybody else on the tour. There's nothing that a PGA Tour player says that I don't understand. Seriously, nothing. And I bet you can't say that. But there's 1,000 things that you guys talk about and know about that you understand and I don't. And when I'm saying that, it's like, there's no way in Hades you guys can figure out what the crap, everything that goes in there, basketball thing. And I don't care how many games you see, but you see it from your perspective, and that's what you have to write about. But for me to say, no, if Garrison's first step would be 12 inches as opposed to 11 and a half, would be successful. It's not that. There's just like I'll guarantee you've never even thought about, no, I shouldn't say that about everybody, but you guys have never thought about people don't even go to the, check the number of offensive rebounds that teams have gotten against us over the years, because they don't get nearly as many, because they're worried about our break. Tim Floyd, who was a great, was and is a great basketball coach, Iowa State's the first team, he sent everybody back except the shooter. So they're not going to get a lot of offensive rebounds, and that's the part of the game that, things like that you guys probably don't notice nearly as much. But I mean, if you were to go statistically look at the number of offensive rebounds that teams get against us in the past, is probably lower than anybody's in the country. And part of it is, I appreciate what you do, because y'all talk about our pace. So they read and see that too, and then they watch the tape, so, oh God, we better get 3 managers, a trainer, and 4 players back to stop their fast break, which means you get no offensive rebounds. So there's so many different things that go into it, and it's just like, I was a great football coach. Odd numbers go to the right and even numbers go to the left, and that's it, that's all I know.
That was a good one.
Yeah.